Episode 4, Ely Mouse Dentist? What? Yeah, kind of a weird name for a mission. I'm gonna have to agree with you guys. So, starting with this mission, you have access to a tightrope that will save you maybe 15 seconds, and that's being generous, of traversing the cliffside here. But hey, tight ropes are fun to mess around with in Sunshine, so not a bad idea, I would argue. But anyways, we're gonna head back to the top of the waterfall. Thankfully, we're not uncorking it again, so we don't have to deal with that Monty Mole. The only other time you have to deal with the Monty Mole is when you need to redo the secret shine in the first floodless mission in Peanut Park, because you gotta do that process all over again. That is the one thing about Sunshine I'm surprised people don't complain about as much. Well, I think some people do, but I actually do find that kind of annoying. That whenever you want to redo a floodless level, well, if you redo it, you're gonna have flood, but point is, I always find it annoying that you have to redo the objectives to get in there. Most of the time it's not problematic, but there is at least one, actually in the next area we're going to visit in the next episode of this Let's Play, matter of fact, that is very, very egregious in that kind of way. And I'd argue that the episode 2 Peanut Park situation is almost as bad, but, I mean, 3 hits and he's dead, so it's hardly the worst thing in the world. At any rate, to enter the Noki City, we have to go into the waterfall, and I'm pretty sure this is the only way to get into the Noki City. It looks nice, right? Nice, calm atmosphere. Well, the boss music starts right away. Now, unfortunately, you don't have unlimited air. That would actually make the under the water sections a little bit more enjoyable, honestly. But you also have 4 blue coins to get exclusive to the Noki City area. Thankfully, all 4 of them are on top of pillars in the upper area of Noki City, so as long as you're keeping that in mind. Also, every blue coin you get refuels your air by 2 points, so that's not a bad strat to knock out all the blue coins back to back to back, and hopefully do it in such a quick succession that you won't have to worry about your air meter draining, really. And like I said, just for the Switch version, I think it's a lot easier to find the blue coins in the distance. I think they are shinier for some reason. But there's going to be 4, so that should bring your total up to 25 of 30, alright? Now for the boss fight. As you already know, we gotta fight some creature called Ely Mouth. Well, you're not really fighting it per se. You're spraying water while you're underwater already to clean out the gunk in its teeth. And I wish I was joking, but that's actually what you gotta do in this mission. You can't jump on this thing, you can't deal damage to it in a traditional sense. And if you blow water into the poisonous purple bubbles, you get air. At least you're technically purifying it ahead of time, but still kind of weird, honestly. But yeah, the air bubbles there can come in a pinch. There's also a lot of coins scattered around the Noki City. A good secondary choice for the 100 coin shine in Noki Bay would be to do episode 8, because that mission you have to come back here, but you don't have to do this boss fight. So you get to take your time and get all the coins with a lot less stress, as it were. But yeah, basically you want to get close to the purple gunk on Ely Mouth's teeth and start spraying the water into it. It seems like you won't be able to do that while it's doing that inhale attack, I guess. I don't know, kind of weird. Some of the teeth will fall out for some reason, and sometimes it'll just randomly fall back into its hole. Not really sure why it does that. But thankfully, I don't think I've ever had a run of Ely Mouth where I've used up every single coin in the Noki City. There's just that many. Plenty of coins to go around. And if you do touch Ely Mouth directly, you do lose health, in a sense. You're just losing more air, really, but yeah, try not to get too close. You could try spamming your spray, and that might make the gunk go away faster, or at the very least it won't propel you up as much, so that might be more beneficial depending on how it is. And anytime Elimouth goes back into the hole, all the gunk that you didn't clean off will be back in full force, unfortunately. But thankfully, this should be the last tooth of doom. I'm gonna try and weather the storm as best as I can, because, yeah. But I don't know. I don't know if the hover nozzle spray actually cleans... Well, actually, I think it did clean the tooth a little bit during the attack. I don't know. Anyway, though, it's finally over. Normally there's supposed to be a cutscene, but the cutscene is playing in, like, in real time? Strange. Wow, I don't think I've ever had that happen before. Is that an emulation issue, guys? I couldn't tell you, because this is technically being emulated on Switch. So, but whatever it is, it's done. Very slow boss fight, by the way. Ooh, boy. Thankfully, things will start to be really chill now, since we've got another Il Piantissimo race. Just gonna let you know this ahead of time. It's either this one or the next one that's probably the easiest Il Piantissimo race in the entire game. You probably could get some blue coins right now, but honestly, I think I'm more comfortable just to get this race out of the way. If you didn't get that other blue coin that's above the water that I got earlier, now would be a pretty good time to get it, because you can get it before you reach the flagpole pretty consistently, in my experience, to be honest. But, yeah, you're probably wondering why this race is so easy. Well, that punching glove helps. Yeah, that certainly helps. Also, you can technically find the turbo nozzle around here somewhere. I don't remember where it is, but it's around here somewhere. And, what else is there to say? I don't think there is much else to say. And you can see Il Piantissimo over there. He's just swimming around. He's not even swimming straight ahead. He's just, roaming around, as it were. But this is a nice breather mission after the Elimouth stuff, because, man, trying to do that with commentary it was a drag, man. I'm just glad it was over with faster than it could have been. That cutscene glitch probably was kind of a good thing that happened, honestly. But next time things are gonna get real again. Oh boy. Episode 6, The Shell's Secret. Now, I hope you like tightropes, because now there's gonna be like a million tightropes strewn all around the upper areas with the shells and whatnot. At this point, you officially have access to any other blue coins you didn't already get along the way. As I mentioned, 2 of them are exclusive to the Tricky Ruins, specifically the last part of Tricky Ruins. 4 of them are exclusive to the Noki City. If you didn't get them during the Elimouth boss fight, which is understandable, you can get them again in Episode 8, which is basically another red coin mission, but it's in the Noki City itself. And there's like a fish. Like, the red coins are in the fish-like formation, and it'll move around the Noki City and, like, spread out and whatnot. It can be kind of annoying, but there's no time limit, so that really salvages that mission. And honestly, I think it's a pretty chill mission overall. Now, where that weird ice cube was, now you have access to the turbo nozzle. And we're going to need the turbo nozzle to take care of the brand new circle graffiti that starts to be spawned now in Episode 6. I think usually these will be the last blue coins people will get in Noki Bay, if you're really thorough, which normally I am, but since this is a Let's Play, I'm trying to be a lot more chill in general, honestly. But yeah, turbo nozzle, it might be doable to do it if you use like the hover nozzle in the water, or maybe the mud boat, but I would rather just do the turbo nozzle, honestly, because you see, I was close to the blue coin and it wasn't even close to fading out, so. Alright, we are up to 27, I believe. 27. There's going to be like 2 more in the upper areas. One of them is going to be on top of one of the shells, and another one will be in another one of those alcoves that's a lot easier to get when you're on top of the shell. But I think there's one other blue coin in the Hidden Ruins I may have overlooked earlier. Which is actually understandable because it's kind of a flip, honestly, where this blue coin might be. So, since it's been a little bit, I'm going to show off how to get to that area again, since, you know, maybe you watched halfway through this episode and you're picking it back up again later. Alright, like I said, this has a lot of coins. Actually, this might be the mission I recommend people do if you want to go for the 100 coin shine, because you can use the turbo nozzle to get all the coins above the water really easily. There's coins in the tunnels here in this hidden ruin area, and yeah, it's generally a pretty nice area in general. And pretty nice mission to get 100 coins. Like I said, the second best would probably be Noki City and doing episode 8, because the red coin fish has like 30 plus yellow coins attached to it as well, or something crazy like that. Alright, so for the shells, I suppose you could use the rocket nozzle. I don't think I ever have, but I mean you could. But I think I'm going to stick with the hover nozzle. It might be a little bit more of a pain in the butt, but thankfully by going to the hidden ruins to get that blue coin I missed, saves a little bit of time on the traversal. Also, when you get the 100 coin shine to spawn, it will randomly spawn like on top of an orange seashell, which is weird because normally you're not supposed to do anything with the orange seashell. So it just seems like a very weird choice. Actually, where is the blue coin that's supposed to be on top of a shell? You think it's on top of the orange one? At any rate, most importantly, we've got that blue coin alcove over there. I know I got one earlier, and you might think, oh, that's the same one. Well, no, not exactly. Let's try going back here where I got that blue coin earlier, and then go down again, and lo and behold, the last blue coin was here the whole time. You know, in retrospect, I probably should have just jump cutted straight back here since I already showed off how to get here when I got the blue coin earlier. Ah, well, you Alright, so Noki Bay Secret, I think technically is the name of this level. Oh boy, this one is quite the mess, and I'm not really sure if I would say in a bad way, because it's kind of creative, I guess. I can give it that much. This is probably the hardest floodless level in the game, depending on how you feel about the one in Pianta Village. Okay, so you're going to have a lot of instances where you're going to need to do triple jumps and wall jumps at an angle. But man, at least you don't have a time limit, so that's pretty good how they did that. And the blocks that retract in the walls, they don't go all the way, so that's also pretty good. But in general, this can be really tough and finicky, but early on, and you know what? I remember when I first played this, on my first playthrough of Sunshine, I couldn't figure out how to escape that little, what would you call it, like an ant farm, I guess? It kind of resembles an ant farm in a way. But, yeah, I couldn't figure out how to escape it. And I don't know how I didn't think to do a wall jump, but, well, hey, I don't know how old I was, but let me tell you, you may not figure stuff like that out right away. Also, standing on these nails and doing side flips, it's not as easy as you might think that I'm making it look. In fact, I'm having struggles here, as you can see, because Mario is unusually slippery in Sunshine. Probably even more slippery than he is in 64, to say something. I'm actually surprised I'm able to even start a side flip, considering how little space there is on top of the nails. And we also have the return of the spinning logs from Rico Harbor, but yeah, that first one starts off slow to kind of get you back in the groove of these things, but as soon as the second one starts to get fast, and yeah, it puts the pressure on you. And now we've got spinning cogs in a way, but I think most people will figure out fairly easily that you could just do pretty much side flip ad nauseum. Granted, the side flip can be kind of finicky to trigger sometimes, but that does seem like the play there. Alright, I think after this log, we'll be pretty much at the Shine Sprite. Thankfully Mario's shoes are pretty sticky. Oh boy. I can't believe it was first try. All this Let's Play luck, and yet you have situations like me missing random blue coins. But we're basically done. We just gotta take care of Shadow Mario and we'll be done with Noki Bay. All blue coins and whatnot. Hold it, Shadow Mario! So first we had an objection reference in the one of the opening cutscenes of Sunshine. Now we have a hold it reference. It is worth noting that the Ace Attorney series technically made its debut on the Game Boy Advance exclusively in Japan in 2001, which is technically 1 year before Sunshine came out. So, believe it or not, that may have been a reference to Ace Attorney. Maybe. Nintendo doesn't usually reference other game series other than their own, so... And for all we know, it could be a grand coincidence, but still, the timing does seem kind of sus, so... At the very least, people are justified in holding on to beliefs that it's more than a coincidence, you know. Maybe it probably isn't, but some people will, you know, use their instincts to assume that maybe it is. Anyway, for this Shadow Mario mission, you may want to use a mixture of the run and squirt technique and the stop and snipe technique, depending on the situation. For now, running and squirting seems to work just fine, but Shadow Mario, I'm pretty sure, pretty much just sticks to this little area here. Also, he gets damaged by FLUDD, but not jumping into the water. There is a reason for this. It may not be obvious to people, but when FLUDD shoots water, he's shooting water at a high pressure. And if you shoot water at a high enough pressure, it can hurt. It can be powerful enough to tear through metal. So, tearing through a shadowy disguise of a small turtle-like creature, I would think that that's child's play for water that's shot at a high enough pressure, you know. And I do find this to be one of the more annoying Shadow Mario missions. But to be fair, this is supposed to be one of the last ones you do, so it's not supposed to be a walk in the park, I would think. Now I think about it, maybe if you don't spray Shadow Mario for a while, maybe his health regenerates a little bit, and that's why sometimes you can do these missions really quickly, and sometimes they might take a while for some reason. Like right now, I don't know why he's not taken care of by now. It should be. Oh, there we go. Right, almost right at the top of the cliff. Matter of fact, the waterfall is right over there. Hello, and welcome back to Let's Play Super Mario Sunshine 3D All-Stars Edition. Last time we took care of Noki Bay, we've only got 2 levels left to go, not counting the very final area. 2 more instances of knocking out Shadow Mario for good. So you're probably wondering, what are those 2 areas besides the final area that we need to deal with? Well, by getting the rocket nozzle in Delfino Plaza, you will automatically be able to access Pianta Village, which is actually that red pipe on top of the Shine Gate over there. But there's also this mysterious gigantic pineapple here, and there's another red pipe. Now are you seeing why I put this area off? You can actually access that area as soon as you unlock the old Yoshter over here. So thankfully in this episode we're going to see a little bit more of Yoshi. Yoshi was unfortunately completely and utterly absent during the Noki Bay saga, as it were. Well, I guess we got plenty of him a few episodes ago, back in Pina Park, obviously, and a little bit in Gelato Beach, probably not enough, but still. We're going to see a little bit of Yoshi in this episode. Probably still not enough, but anyways, we eat the pineapple, and we can enter the pipe. Come on, Yoshi. Work with us, not against us. Still, Yoshter. And yeah, welcome to Sirena, or Serena Beach. The pronunciation of the name may vary depending on who you ask. Also, was that Pina Park I saw in the distance? Yeah, now is probably a good time to bring up the fact that in all of the areas of Delfino Plaza, well, maybe not all of them, most of them, it's actually possible to see other areas depending on where you're at. So you can see Pina Park here from Serena Beach, and honestly, the site is kind of gorgeous. There's the volcano that was alluded to during a cutscene in Pina Park. More importantly, though, we do have a few blue coins we can track down. Also, we have green and yellow electric goop. If you touch this goop, you will be electrified. You have been warned, my friends. But yeah, this is going to be the start of running into goop that actually deals damage to you upon contact, whereas the other goop deals damage to you over time, not instantly. But yeah, we're going to start seeing like elemental goop that can deal damage to you if you touch it, so do use caution. Also, there are some entities in Sunshine that can actually infinitely produce this stuff. Not just the electrified version either, there's also another version. But, you know, we just did Noki Bay last episode, and here we have a couple more Nokis here in Serena Beach. They must be on vacation or something. Sad to say that they got a little bit dirty during their little vacation. But if you clean them up and talk to each of them individually, they will each give you a single blue coin for your perusal/usage. That's pretty nice. There's also this plaque over here. I think you need to wait until episode 2 or onward to get a blue coin from spraying that plaque, though. I'm not sure why that is, but yeah, I'm thinking 3 blue coins is the max you can get for episode 1 of Serena Beach, which is a pretty good number. So, you know, it is what it is. Most importantly, though, we talked to the hotel owner over here, and yeah, says there's a nightmare because of all this electrified goop all over the place. This giant mantis-shaped thing showed up. It was paper thin, a floating silhouette, really. Covered. Oh, so that's the thing that covered the hotel in goop, right? Supposedly. Yeah, I wonder why it would target Delfino Hotel, though, or Hotel Delfino, or something like that. That Gossamer Ghoul! Oh, man. When was the last time you heard someone say the word Gossamer? Probably some cartoon from the 1950s. Anyway, say hello to Phantomanta, another unique boss here in Sunshine. We are not going to see this thing show up 3 times with little to no changes like Gooper Blooper. But this thing hates water, at least the water that's sprayed by Flood. But thankfully you have a lot of options available to you. You can do a spin jump and spray water in the air. You can do the spam spray. Yeah, you have no shortage of options. Also, this spot over here is a really good spot to snipe the Phantomanta from afar. You can just stand here, make sure your water never really runs out, and yeah, go to town basically and mow down these creatures. Each time you spray the Phantomanta, any of these Phantomantas, they will split apart little by little, and eventually, when they're all at their smallest form, they will actually start homing in on Mario for some reason. They're not actively going after Mario right now, though. Oh boy, this is looking pretty bad. Let's get on top of the trees. Unfortunately, I think they can get on top of the trees too. And the hover nozzle works against them too, so keep that in mind. But ideally, you want to spray as many as you can before they've reached their smallest form, because then they'll start homing in on you. But if they start homing in on you, they're gonna basically walk right into your water spray, so it's kind of a double-edged sword. But yeah, the best technique is basically to stand near a body of water to spam your water. Uh-oh, they're on their smallest form now. We'll see how long they last, though, because I'm kind of a water spraying machine right now. Almost literally, thanks to Flood. So, yeah. But yeah, spin jump water, the spam spray, yeah, all of the above. Also, touching the goop will electrify you and will damage you. I think touching the mantas damages you, but more importantly, it knocks you back really far, which can be really disadvantageous. It is possible to get juggled by these mantas. I've seen it happen to other people in speedruns and whatnot, I think. I don't think it's ever happened to me, though, but then again, I don't really speedrun, so, you know, I'm not gonna blindly rush into things or rush into things with glitches or what other things, and, oh, hey, we took care of that at a fairly okay pace, I'd say. I'm sure I've defeated it faster in the past, but, hey, That could have been a lot worse. I only lost like half of my health throughout the whole thing. And yeah, only 3 of 30 blue coins. We're only 10% of the way. That is not making a good impression on you guys. So we're going to collect the shine and we're going to head right back in here. And hopefully we can collect at least a few more blue coins before we enter the mysterious Delfino Hotel. Episode 2, the hotel lobby secret. That should be your signal to let you know that we're going to have another Floodless level. I'm not trying to spoil you guys, I mean, that's just the pattern that we've observed thus far. So now, this plaque will produce a blue coin by spraying it. Maybe the excuse is that it was technically dirty during episode 1 because of all of the Phantom Manta shenanigans, I guess, and now it's okay. Also, now there's going to be a blue coin underneath one of these cabana huts. The excuse before is that there was a lot of coins. Like, I don't know, man. Honestly, a lot of the reasons for why these blue coins don't show up is kind of meh. I won't try to deny it or anything like that. But anyways, we got a blue coin in the flower bed. It's a blue coin behind the hotel. This one may have tripped me up at some point, just because it's actually kind of obvious. But because it's so obvious, you might forget it because a lot of these blue coins are not as obvious. You will also get a blue coin by spraying one of the torches in the front of the hotel. I believe that should be all the blue coins you can get up to this point. Now we're caught up. And that should bring us to a total of 8 blue coins. That's a lot more respectable, alright? But now we actually get to go inside Hotel Delfino proper. Yes, it is Mario. Who else would it be? Luigi? Pretty easy mistake to make considering Luigi's Mansion came out around the same time. Actually, now is probably a good time to bring up Luigi's Mansion because Flood was technically created by EGAD, who's a scientist that was introduced in Luigi's Mansion, which was a launch title for the GameCube, actually, which is the system that Sunshine was made for. And Sunshine came out less than a year after Luigi's Mansion, so presumably the games were all in development at around the same time. So that's how they were able to reference EGAD in that context, but I don't think EGAD is referenced much in any of the other 3D Mario games or mainline Mario games in general, interestingly enough, so it is kind of a random reference, I won't lie. Alright though, here in the hotel for episode, or I should say, mission 2, you need to spray these pink boos, which look a little weird, honestly, for Sunshine. A lot of enemies, classic enemies in Sunshine, have unique designs compared to their original incarnations. Spray this lamp for a blue coin. That should be blue coin number 9. There is a blue coin that you can get from the skylight right there above the weird-looking Boo statue, but that's episode 3 and onwards. The excuse is that, well, there's a giant Boo statue there. Where's the blue coin going to spawn? Alright, so we're going to hover right in. So, Sirena Beach Secret 1, this probably isn't as hard as Noki Bay, but it can still be up there. It's more so towards the later half rather than the first half. So, over here, we've got these flying enemies. I think they're technically called Strolling Stews, which is a very weird name. And they're basically the Sunshine equivalent of Goombas. I do kind of see the resemblance, so it's whatever. But yeah, there's various different kinds of Strolling Stews. We saw flying ones earlier in Pina Park and the beach. Yeah, they produced a lot of coins, so they're good for that. Funnily enough, if one of those flying ones actually touches you, Mario's hat will be stolen, like what happens with the bird, the Klepto the bird in Super Mario 64 in Shifting Sandlands. Kind of a funny coincidence how that worked out. There's a consistent one-up you can get by ground pounding those 3 watermelon blocks. Very useful, because on this platform, it's very easy to die, because the cog platform is basically nothing but slopes. And yeah, depending on your angle, you might slip off or you might stick on. It's kind of a crapshoot, honestly. Also, I do not recommend doing a spin jump off of there. I was just feeling particularly risky. Also, that may or may not have been my second attempt, so I was feeling extra frisky, don't you know? Episode 3, Mysterious Hotel Delfino. Delfino. It's definitely Delfino, okay? So yeah, we're still very low on the blue coin count, but I would not stress out about that too much. Serena Beach is kind of weird when it comes to blue coin progression. You're probably going to notice that most of the blue coins you collect will actually come during the later half of the level, rather than the earlier half in the middle, like with some of the other levels I've done, like Noki Bay or Peanut Heart, both of which are pretty much done with blue coins by the end of the 6th episode, you know? Alright, so for this mission, we have Yoshi, and he's only ever going to crave pineapples. And there's only one spot in the Hotel Delfino where pineapples are found. And it's in a storage room that for some reason is very difficult to reach. You will basically have to do a series of puzzles, like spraying a painting to reveal a boo. And honestly, I think this mission is pretty fun, honestly. Figuring out all these puzzles and whatnot. And there are a few blue coins you can get along the way while you're doing all this stuff. But any blue coins you don't get now, you can get later on in episode 7, and probably a lot more easily, too. Spray these door panels to reveal another boo symbol or boo silhouette. I am noticing a pattern here. I don't know if you guys are, but I definitely am. We got more pink boos, the only kind of boo that will turn into a platform when you spray water on them. If you spray water on a regular boo in Sunshine, they just get, like, not barely stunned at all. Spray one of these shelves to produce a blue coin. One of them. Spray this Dolphic poster. It's a weird name, Dolphic. And we get another blue coin over here. If you don't get it now, you can get it in episode 7 really easily. More importantly, though, let's ground pound this one tile that looks different from the other ones and defeat this boo that's hiding as a coin. Let's ground pound all these crates for now. I think there's a blue coin behind that boo. But, okay, so here's the thing. So you get pineapples from these crates. You take these to Yoshi. I don't think I need to know that. So this boo is Big Boo for Sunshine. These are the Big Boo enemies. Not like the one from 64. These are like one level below, I would say. The only way to take care of this guy is to bring Yoshi here and eat him. There's a blue coin in the room behind him. I think you can see it right there. It's not recommended to get this blue coin now. It's possible, but not at all recommended, because if you bring Yoshi to that room through the same process that I just showed, you won't be able to leave the room with Yoshi. At least not very easily. So I would recommend waiting until episode 7 of Serena Beach, and then go back to that room the normal way, and you can get the blue coin without even touching the boo, believe it or not. So once you have Yoshi, we want to head to the 3rd floor. Now we can spray the skylight to get the blue coin to spawn on top of the totem. Man, that was a close call there. All right. And we're going to go through the only open door, by the way, the blue coin from the lamp. If you didn't get it earlier, now's a pretty good time to get it. You want to jump on this bed to reach the attic. Oh, hold up. To reach the attic. It's because a bunch of these big boos are in the attic, and again, they can only be defeated with Yoshi. Also, one of these boos is hiding as a blue coin. There is a blue coin you can get here by defeating a boo, but only in episode 4 or later. Funny enough. At any rate, we want to look for a specific cracked floor tile, because the ultimate goal of this mission is to reach the pool, the hotel pool, basically, and that's where the Shine Sprite will be. And if you can get there with Yoshi, even better. That's what I'm trying to do, honestly. I just want to get there with the old Yoshter. Alright, I think this tile will just take you back. As you can see the skylight there. So we need to try and find the room, or find the tile that'll take us to the pool. It can be a little trial and error. Let's see if this one... Alright, that just takes us back to the storage room, which, well, probably not a bad idea to do that, actually. But it's going to be kind of hard to get back out of here. But you know what? We're already here, so I guess I can get the blue coin out of the way. I may need to jump cut back to the attic. We'll have to wait and see. So it is possible to get back up above the tile with Yoshi using a spin jump. It's pretty difficult. It's pretty finicky, but it is possible. Alright, hey, not a bad recovery if I do say so myself. Alright, let's see. Maybe it's that one that takes to... It's really not obvious which one takes you to the pool. It's kind of annoying tracking it down, honestly, and I wish I could trim this that way. Oh, there's a blue coin over there, huh? So there's actually 2 blue coins in the attic. Okay. I know there's one that doesn't spawn until episode 4 or later. You can get it in episode 7, though. That's probably what I'm gonna do, honestly. Maybe this one. No, takes us to this room. Oh, wait, hey, actually, this is another blue coin over here. Alright, hey, I'm knocking all these out. Something should happen if you ground pound the mirror table. Oh, that takes us back there, alright. Huh. I'm seeing a lot of secrets I haven't seen in a minute. Wow. Alright, well. Hey, so, I mean, I'm kind of meandering, but at least I'm showing off the blue coins like I want to do. And funnily enough, there's actually fruit in those areas, so we're keeping Yoshi chugging along. Hopefully we can see that animation with Yoshi and Mario collecting the Shine Sprite together. That's kind of the one thing I really like about this mission, other than the whole exploration thing. Maybe it's this one? But this is just going to take us back here to the skylight. But can we spin jump back to the attic? Wow, okay. Alright, well. So it has to be over there, right? Because I'm just using process of elimination. Yeah, it has to be that one over there. I mean, it feels like we've got them all. So I guess to the 4-way intersection, then go through this path. Oh, if you're wondering which is the best mission to get 100 coins in, I would say like the 4th episode or later, something like that. Alright, though, we get the Shine Sprite with Yoshi, and I love it so much. But we're coming right back in the next episode. Episode 4, The Secret of Casino Delfino. Oh, those 2 words go together really well, let me tell you. Oh yeah, blue coin count. We're up to halfway. Alright, 15 of 30 blue coins. Alright. So, I know we just did a floodless area in episode 2, but we're fixing to do another one here in episode 4. Yeah, I know. They're only 2 episodes apart, or 2 missions apart, however you want to put it. It's weird, but roll with it, because this one is actually a lot easier. I should say the area itself is a lot easier. By the way, you can get the blue coin in the attic with the boo now if you want to, but I'm gonna go ahead and go straight to the casino because, well, oh boy, Casino Delfino. So there's a couple of blue coins you can get here. One by ground pounding some of these slot machines. You can also get a lot of coins. This is where I'd recommend getting a 100 coin shine in. Get as many as you can in the area outside of the hotel and within the hotel itself. But maybe when you have like 70 coins or something like that, you will want to come here to the casino and basically grind out the other coins. You ground pound the slot machines over here, or whatever these machines are, and you get quite a few coins for your trouble here. I'm doing this to look for a blue coin though, by the way. I'm not doing this to randomly get the 100 coin shine like I did not too long ago in Delfino Plaza. Alright, blue coin. Whoa! Over here. And since we're already so close, we've got slots on both sides of the casino. One of these slots, you need to spray each one individually with Flood. This one's a lot less annoying. Matter of fact, there we go. 777s on that one. And we need to spray one of these fountains, torch fountains, to get another blue coin. I guess it's going to be that one over there. That'll give us the blue coin Reno. Come on. There we go. Sometimes they'll spawn right away and sometimes they take a minute. Alright, so these slots are real problematic because you spray one of them and then they all start moving. Basically, yeah, you see, you get coins from doing this, so this is why a 100 coin shine is not a bad idea to do here because of this whole slot thing. And I'm getting a lot less booze than I normally do, but we'll have to wait and see how things continue. If this gets particularly bad, I may have to do a jump cut. But yeah, you just keep spraying. Now we're gonna have a boo. The goal is to get 777s. Sometimes when you kill a boo, they drop a water bottle, but you also have the fountains nearby to make sure you have a constantly full water tank with blood. So that's pretty good. And wow. Okay, not the best luck, but not the worst luck either. But now we have the worst part. So all of these question panels, you need to spray with water and flip them to make a Shine Sprite mural. And this is a lot more annoying than it looks, because when you get down to like a few panels left, you have to spray your water very specifically. 2 hours later, and I'm not exaggerating, that may have very well been 2 hours later. We can finally enter the pipe and do the stinking level. And probably do it on the first try too. So, Sirena Beach Floodless level number 2. And it's a lot of cubes here. This is a very cubular mission, I guess you could say. You can do a lot of damage in a good way with carefully timed spin jumps to get across. And keep in mind, I do think this is the easier level between this one and the other one that we did earlier here in Sirena Beach. I wouldn't say it's still easy though. At the end of the day, it's still a floodless level in Mario Sunshine, so do expect a fair bit of difficulty regardless. Especially trying to get onto this cube since it's constantly rotating, so yeah, there we go. That's a lot harder than it looks. Make sure the cube is in a favorable position and do a spin jump and get onto these moving blocks. Alright, you can pretty much do a regular jump across these, but spin jump is a lot safer. Harder to pull off, but more rewarding. We get another twisting log from Ricco Harbor. Yeah, I guess this mission could arguably be like a mix of Bianco Hills and Ricco Harbor's secret, obstacles. Oh boy. But thankfully, that cube is so gigantic that it takes very few rotations to make it to the Shine Sprite. Shine Sprite number 50. Alright, not bad. Episode 5, King Boo Down Below. Oh, interesting. So, you remember how I was talking about Luigi's Mansion not too long ago? We're fixing to face off with the final boss of Luigi's Mansion. Yeah, Sunshine kinda spoils it. Though, to be fair, I don't think that this King Boo is actually the same King Boo as the one in Luigi's Mansion. And there's a good reason for that. So, I don't know where I read this, but supposedly there's a theory that all of the enemies, or at least most of the enemies that Mario deals with in Isle Delfino, are actually made of paint. And actually, the Yoshis might be made of paint as well, which is why when you take a Yoshi into water, they dissolve. That would actually make a lot of sense now think about it. And of course, the one that holds the magic paintbrush is Bowser Jr. Very interesting to think about, honestly. So, episode 5, you gotta come back to the casino. You don't have to worry about slots or annoying panel puzzles. You can still ground pound the slot machines to get coins, but they're not infinite, so I'd still say that episode 4 is probably better for the 100 coin shine mission. Ground pound this panel, and we enter the boss arena for King Boo, who for some reason has a casino theme. Yeah, it's definitely a departure from the aesthetic that King Boo has in Luigi's Mansion itself. Let me tell you that. I prefer the King Boo portrayal in that game far more than this dopey persona. But it can be assumed that this King Boo is just Bowser Jr.'s reinterpretation, I guess you could say. Assuming that the paint theory holds water, which, well, technically it doesn't, but it just might. Alright, so this is weird. King Boo, if you get the right slots, will produce fruit. You need to toss hot peppers at him, and then toss any other fruit on him. If you kick a durian into him, it doesn't do anything special, but it's pretty cool when you do. You'll get some brownie points for that. Hopefully, round 2 of the fruit. Alright. Ideally, you would get the fruits 3 times in a row. I don't think I've ever seen that happen, and I've fought this boss many times over the years, let me tell you. I just would not hope for it, honestly. But yeah, you throw the peppers into his tongue, and you know his tongue gets on fire, and then you can just toss the fruit at him to do damage. Okay, thank God, we get the final round of fruit. The hit detection on the fruit can be pretty finicky sometimes, though. So we're just gonna have to hope for the best. Toss the pepper onto his tongue. Am I gonna get the durian? Am I gonna get the durian? Wait. Yes! Oh man! Goal! Football! Oh my God! I needed that because that fight was fixing to drag worse than Ely Mouth. Good Lord, and we do not want that. Alright, so hopefully things are gonna chill out for the rest of Sirena Beach. And the answer to that is a big, fat, stinking no. Episode 6, Scrubbing Sirena Beach. And as soon as you enter, you're tasked with cleaning up all this goop. Thankfully, you have a rather generous time limit, honestly. And I hear around the grapevine that sometimes, here in the Switch version, or if you're emulating this on Dolphin or something like that, sometimes the mission will instantly end if you clean up specific goop. I don't know what's... It's definitely not consistent from the research I've looked into. Would have been nice, though, to have that, to be able to go really fast for the sake of the Let's Play, but it is what it is. Basically, whatever strategy I gave you for the Phantom Manta surprisingly works pretty well for this mission, honestly. You know, spam spray, spin around, and plenty of water around here to keep yourself refilled, as it were. And the goop is only really around the frontal area of the Sirena Beach and the hotel and all that stuff. There's going to be another pair of Nokis, though. And if you clean up the second pair of Nokis, you will get 2 more blue coins. And also, if you clean up the Nokis from episode 1, you can have a second chance to get those blue coins as well. Since I don't think you can get them in any of their other episode. So, 2 more blue coins here in episode 6. That's alright. I think we're up to like 20-something by now. There's only 1 more episode, though, and that episode, there's 10 blue coins to collect. Yeah, the Shadow Mario mission. There's a pretty good reason for that, but we're just going to have to wait and see what that reason is. But, yeah, we should almost be done with the mission. There's, like, barely any goop left. Which, I don't understand why that glitch works the way it does, because, like, you see how much goop I'm cleaning here. And the mission is still not over. So, yeah, it's really weird. Really weird how that works out, but I mean, still like a minute left. So, what goop are we missing, though? Alright, there we go. I guess it was that goop. See, there's still some goop over here, but the mission still ends. I think, technically, they want you to clean like 99% of the goop. But, apparently that glitch is a thing, and I wish it would happen to me anytime I do a playthrough of this, but at least we got the 2 blue coins, so that kind of makes the difference. Can be a really short mission if you know what you're doing, or if you get lucky. Episode 7, Shadow Mario checks in. Now I know what you might be thinking, this episode's going to be over in like a minute. This is probably going to be the only Shadow Mario mission where that is profoundly not the case. Because Shadow Mario is going to make a pretty big impact here. There's going to be a lot of new graffiti that you're going to have to clean. One of them outside the hotel. I'm pretty sure there's only one outside the hotel. If not, I can always do some last-minute scrubbing after this episode. At this point, you should have 21 blue coins if you've been following along with me, though. Now you enter the hotel, and Shadow Mario is spawned for you to hopefully eventually defeat. You can go ahead and defeat him now if you want to, just don't get the Shine Sprite because a lot of Shine Sprites are exclusive to this episode. A lot of graffitis, you see triangle and X, that's automatically 4 more blue coins, in addition to the 1 outside of the hotel. So, yeah, you're going to have to keep all that in mind. But there's a host of blue coins in a lot of the hotel rooms, a lot of which you may have already gotten during episode 3, but if you didn't get it in episode 3, well, this is a second chance for you. It's a very good way to do a second chance, as it were. But the reason all the doors are open now is because that way Shadow Mario has a really easy path to run away from you, as it were. Though it does make it kind of annoying to track him down. Especially when you're recording this without sound. Oh boy. Well, if I can't find him, I'm probably just gonna work on the graffiti or something. I'm sure he'll show up eventually. Alright, wait. Oh, actually I think he's down there. Never mind. Yeah, he kind of loops around a little bit. Like, he'll come back to the first floor after hanging out in one of the upper floors after a while. Run and squirt is obviously the best method here because you're never really going to have to stop and snipe for any real reason. Alright, Shine Sprite is spawned. Let's try and knock out some of this graffiti, why not? I believe there's one or two graffitis laying around in the hotel somewhere as well. That may have spawned in the third floor, actually. Yeah, over there, and I was a little too slow. Yeah, you might want to knock out these boos, because the boos can get in the way. Alright, let's get this graffiti over there while we're thinking about it, and bam, do that. Alright, yeah, I think that's the play we're going to want to do. Spray the X graffiti from here, and then you can basically hover down to the second floor and get the blue coin that way. Pretty healthy time window there. For the opposite, be at the bottom of the stairs, then start spraying the X, and, well, you have to get into a specific position to get this to work, by the looks of it. So, yeah, sometimes the cleaning physics can be a little weird with how it works. You do a flip onto here, and get the blue coin that way. You get such a small window to do it, though. That's what I don't understand. Alright, so next should be the triangle graffiti. Over here. I believe when you spray this one, it spawns in the first floor, though. So that kind of makes sense. There's like a pair of graffiti in two different floors in both instances. It spawns over here with a very limited window. I believe the opposite's going to be a little harder. It is possible to get to the second floor from here by wall jumping off of the totem pole, and I think that's what I'm going to try and do. Because any other method that I could do would probably be more annoying than just doing the wall jump. Yeah, I barely got that. Alright, so blue coin will be here if you didn't get it before. There's no boo to deal with. What's our blue coin count looking like? 26? Alright. There should be 2 blue coins in the attic now. One with the boo, and there's going to be an graffiti up there too, if I'm not mistaken. So let's head back to the room that has the bouncy bed, because that's basically the easiest way to get back into the attic. The Nokis are mysteriously gone now. Nokis that were on the bed. But yeah, there's now going to be one lone boo lurking around in the attic around here somewhere. And I'm pretty sure there's an graffiti around here. But it's going to be in like one of the square. Okay. Okay, now here's the thing. You need to wait until the boo is like not inside of a wall. Because the blue coin can spawn in the wall if you kill the boo when it's still in the wall. Alright, there's the graffiti over there. Solve the maze of the Serena Beach attic before we get there. And I believe after this I'm going to double check a blue coin list for the other 2. Just to save a little bit of time for you guys. Bada bing, bada boom. That's 28 blue coins. I'm going to ground pound this tile and be right back. Alright, so after double checking the blue coin list, there's... Oh yeah, we're back in the second floor of Serena Beach, near the shine spur over there. It's looking pretty shiny, I must say. We'll collect that in a minute. Head to this room over here, if the camera would permit, and there's a blue coin over here. Normally, I guess you would do the attic, because there's an access to the attic right there. Matter of fact, bounce on the bed, and, well, if you break the actual floor tile in the attic, you can access it. As for the other blue coin, this is kind of weird. Let's see if I can track it down again. The storage room where the pineapples are. Alright. So now, if you destroy one of these crates will have a blue coin now. which was not the case in Episode 3 when these crates were more relevant. And now, one of them will produce a blue coin. So that's kind of weird how they decided to do that. So now, we have 30 blue coins in every level except Pianta Village, and we have 18 out of 20 in Delfino Plaza. There's 10 in the final area. So, if you were to turn in these blue coins right now to the Tanuki Brothers, where Rico Harbor's portal is, instead of 52 shines, we would actually have 71, if I'm not mistaken. But if we collect this, it will be 72, alright? Alright, though, after that brief bit of math, this is going to end today's episode, guys. I hope you sincerely enjoyed it. Next episode could very well be the last, but maybe not. We'll have to see how things go with the planning and the pacing, and, well, next time it's Pianta Village. It's the only area we have left. And, oh boy. And let me tell you, if you weren't a Chuckster before, well, that next episode might convert you. I hope you guys steel yourself for that. And, yeah. Super Mario Sunshine, shine, get to whoosh. Yeah, this has been fun, guys. I hope to see you next time, right? Like, comment, subscribe if you like.